So you mentioned kind of at the start of the call or the webinar, really kind of what did you describe yourself as fourth generation Kenyan? Is that right?
Yes.
So how have you, and maybe that's the hints in the question or that statement, but how have you built up the relationships with your farmers, with your weavers, your spinners, your manufacturing units, and those skilled artisans?
Yeah, I mean, forging long-term partnerships is something that takes a really long time, and it requires experimentation, really getting out there and finding people to see if you really can synergize and work harmoniously in a mutually beneficial way, especially when you're creating things that haven't been done before. So you're forging a sort of new path. You've got to have people who are willing to take that leap with you, but also who can fulfill a framework that allows for the business to be scalable and have a stable supply chain. So, like I've always been looking to harness my partner's strengths and push the boundaries within innovation. So to push them to see what we can do that's new and different, but using the skills that they already have. And this is something that I work on all the time. I mentioned this as one of my key focuses at the moment. I don't think that ever changes in the sense that it's always there on my list of priorities, especially being a fashion brand. Fashion is an industry that thrives on newness, and I'm here at the same time advocating for timelessness. So how do we make things that are both, but also so different that it's, valuable to people who buy the designs and they know they've got something unique and with that story. So yeah, it has taken a while, and to be honest, there's we've had setbacks and hiccups with big manufacturers refusing to or rejecting our idea, refusing to make the thing, the inputs that we require, and it's so much about fostering a community, both product facing and on the supply chain side. And now I feel like we have a really stable supply chain of partners who are willing to go in that direction with us, and we've begun doing it, and it's finally sort of paying off in that sense.
Is there any lessons you've learned in establishing this kind of network of your supply chain for someone else that wants to kind of do what you're doing and join the kind of movement? Is there any kind of hints or tips around that relationship building with supply chain that you can offer?
Yes, I would say start off small and simple. The more that you can scale down and break down your practice, the more you can mitigate your risk in that. And that's purely from a business perspective. As I said, I take a very grassroots approach to my production. And I feel that it's necessary if you want to go down this route, because what you're going to have to end up doing is, build on a very simple idea slowly with time and with, experience development. It's taken me 2.5 years to develop a single textile that is fully traceable. And it's totally worth it, but we really had to go back and forth and do it so that the business would be in a bankable, scalable position, rather than doing something that would last for a season and then we wouldn't be able to replicate going forward.
Got you. And when you say fully traceable, just remind me, Ria, there's like an international standard. It's like I could visualize the logo, but it's a logo that basically says that this piece of cotton, it can trace it back to the exact farm where it was grown.
Yeah, there's quite a few platforms and certifications that businesses can get for these kinds of things. GOTS is a big one in fashion. I know that there are people using blockchain at the moment to be able to trace fibers to their, their original state.
Oh, wow.
And these are, new innovations. Certifications, they are a very costly investment for a business, especially, a startup, but they are worth doing if you're in a place where you can access those raw materials. If you can access fiber that's already got certified, as you can in the UK,
Okay.
that's an easy way to sort of navigate to that more directly.